WrestleZone presents Lost in the Midcard. Here are your hosts, Jeremy Bennett and Matt Black. Oh, yeah, baby, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast. We're about to make some wrestling history. It's Lost the Midcard. Happy New Year, everybody. This is our first show of the new year, as it's the first Monday of the new year, and it's the first Raw on Netflix tonight. Going to be fun to see. Thanks to Matt's suggestion, good idea. We're going to cut off about 5 minutes early just to make sure you guys can get in and get ready for the big show tonight. Big show. Is
let's hope
literally
Netflix actually can handle it.
Big Show is literally what we're saying here as MK in the chat. Who is ready for a 4-hour Raw? Well, actually, it's not 4 hours, but it's reportedly going to be 3.5. So we'd like to thank everybody in the chat. Of course, Steven Chambers and our graphics man. What's that?
Everything in the back end is messed up tonight.
What's that?
Like the chat graphics look weird.
It's different. It's a different trying a different one. That's why.
Okay, don't do that one again. This one's bad. It looks like it's broken.
Yeah, I can't change it, so we'll worry about that next time. But anyways, March show, we're on Plex, so there you go. Head scratcher, Bears want to interview Mike McCarthy. Yeah, I don't want to see that. I want either.
That's not a surprise. He was in Green Bay for years. You bring back a division rival head coach to the Bears. That is not even the slightest bit surprising to me that they want that interview. I'm not saying he's going to go there, but I'm not surprised that they want that interview. Was he already fired? Was he already fired from Dallas?
No. Not
okay,
yet.
Then they might not even be able to interview him. Who knows?
I'm not 100% sure they're going to fire him either. So I don't know. We'll see. Ozzy joining us. Thank you. Chiefs, go Lions, go Cowboys. I'm going for the Lions, of course, in the playoffs because my Bears did not make it, though they did beat Green Bay this week. That was nice. That was very nice of them.
I don't foresee my team making it out of the first round. So yeah, I would like to see the Lions go all the way.
That was a rough
this
game
year and win it. So
that was a rough Week 18 game for you, wasn't it, Matt?
Dude, it's been a rough month. They lost 4. They ended the season losing 4 straight, and now we got to go to fucking Baltimore. And I mean, if anywhere we have a hope and a prayer, it's the Steelers going into Baltimore and winning a game because we've done that more times than I can count. So, it's possible we could go in there and win, but I'm not feeling good about it. Russ has looked like garbage over the last month. I don't know if Pickens is actually healthy or not. I know he missed several weeks and came back, and he doesn't look like the same guy. We're handing it to Harris way more than we should be handing it to Warren. And our defense is shredded. We have multiple injuries on defense. I have no faith that we win this weekend. My only blessing in disguise is it goes head to head with Collision. And since it goes head to head with Collision, I don't have to worry about it.
You'll be a little more distracted than normal.
Well, no, I have to cover Collision for WrestleZone, so I'm not even gonna be watching it.
You'll be distracted. You'll be free of the pain.
It works for me.
If you have not done so already, subscribe to WrestleZone on YouTube, and that's WrestleZone all one word. Make sure that you hit the bell icon to be notified every time WrestleZone goes live. We go live every Monday, 7:10 Eastern, 6:10 Central, leading you up to Monday Night Raw. Again, we're going to cut off a little early tonight to let you guys get to Netflix and such there. But let's get things going with myself. I am your host, Jeremy Bennett. You can find me on the Twitter at JB Huskers. As always, my co-host, he is on the Twitter at Raw F Showtime, Mr. Matt Black. Matt, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm cautiously optimistic for tonight's Netflix episode. They're certainly doing some things I'm not thrilled about. I have no desire to see Hulk Hogan
No.
on my WWE programming in 2025. Yet here we are, and we're gonna have to deal with him and his stupid beer that nobody wants to drink. So that's a
I'm all
thing.
about the sponsors, brother.
But we're getting The Rock. We're getting The Undertaker. You know, people speculating maybe Steve Austin due to that little charity
What?
show over the weekend. I mean, who
What?
knows? Like,
Yeah, there's
it's all. It's,
surprises
I think like
galore.
they feel like it's going to be an all hands on deck
Yep.
episode. Probably getting the return of Becky Lynch tonight.
Will be good. Maybe
We're
the debut of
probably.
Penta.
I was gonna say we're probably getting Penta because they're supposed to do Ray and a partner against New Day, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
makes
boy.
sense. So yeah, I think it should be a very fun show, but I definitely know what time I will get up to use the bathroom or grab some snacks, and that's when I hear the Rick Derringer theme play.
Da, 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 da,
I will be
da.
gone for a bit because I have
Yeah.
no desire to listen to anything that man has to say.
You're gonna have to find some snacks or the bathroom somewhere tonight with a 3.5 hour Raw. Let's get things going since we are going to cut off early. A big weekend this weekend. First off, of course, the start of it all, of course, in Tokyo was Wrestle Kingdom 19 in the Tokyo Dome. I'm not going to cover this one too much. Just going to go over some of the highlights. I do want to say though, I want to shout out one of my favorite guys. El Phantasmo is now a champion in New Japan Pro Wrestling. I am very happy with that. He defeated Narita and Jeff Cobb and Oya, I think is how you say his name. Oiwa, Oiwa. That's a tough one to say. But El Phantasmo was your new television champion. Takesh added they had the winner take all against Takagi. So Takesha kept all his gold. Desperado defeated Dookie to get the junior heavyweight championship. Of course, he was featured in Wrestle Dynasty as well. We had a new global heavyweight champion, David Finlay, no longer the champion there. Then, of course, the main event, Zack Sabre Jr. retaining his world heavyweight championship. Did you get to catch Wrestle Kingdom, Matt?
Did not watch Wrestle Kingdom. I wasn't overly enamored with the card, and I
Yeah,
knew I was going to be up I knew I was going to be up late the following night to watch Wrestle
yeah,
Dynasty. So I'm like,
yeah.
this is a year I can skip out on Wrestle Kingdom. I actually think the 2 night event kind of probably hurt them this year because the second night being so heavily focused on AEW.
Yeah.
Um, I just wasn't. I didn't look at I didn't look at the Wrestle Kingdom card this year and go, man, I gotta see this match.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't one match on the card that stood out to me and goes, I need to stay up late to see this. So I got my
Did you?
sleep. I woke up in the morning. I listened to Grapsody and listened to Phil and Reg break down the show. So I was caught up on everything that happened on it. And then I stayed up and watched Wrestle Dynasty the following night, and that basically worked for me.
Yeah, there you go. That went till about 4 in the morning there, didn't it? Your time?
A little after 3.
A little after 3?
Yeah, a little after 3. It wasn't too far after 3 a.m. when it ended.
Yeah, I
So
was gone
it was essentially a 4-hour show if you don't count the
pre-show.
pre-show. And the pre-show
Well,
was like half of it wasn't a pre-show anyway. It was like they ran 2 quick matches and then it was like 30 minutes of dead air.
I know.
So
I was watching it today, and yeah, I was like fast forwarding, still on the graphic. Fast forwarding, still on the graphic. I'm like, what the hell's going on here, guys?
yeah,
Let's get into that event on a Saturday, and that was, of course, Wrestle Dynasty, a combination of CMLL, Stardom, Ring of Honor, AEW, and New Japan Pro Wrestling, a show put on by New Japan Pro Wrestling. And I got to say, Matt, I was overall, I think it was I think it was a success. I think they did a good job of working a lot of giving all the companies some shine, especially when it came to like the luchador eliminator match. I thought was great. Of course, the women, the four corner women match, which I was a little surprised that was on the pre-show. That was actually a damn good match. That you had four companies that were celebrated there. And some good matches. And I thought overall it was for the first time of trying something like this, I think it was a good night. What did you think overall?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the women's match on the pre-show, I would have bumped that to the main card, and I would have put the little casino gauntlet match between New Japan and CMLL on the pre-show instead. Personally, that's just a personal preference. I think the Ring of Honor tag title match is perfectly fine on the pre-show.
Yeah.
It wasn't a perfect show, but I really enjoyed it. I overall I thought it was very fun. I liked the majority of the matches. I loved a few of them. Uh yeah, I liked it a lot. I hope they do it again next year. I don't know if this is going to be a yearly thing or a one-time deal.
Would it be better
And if
off if
this
it was a
turns into
week
a
or two
yearly thing,
after?
I'd be pretty happy with it.
Would it be better off if it was a week or two after, but or for logistics sake?
I think for a destination thing for people, I know there's people who travel all over the world to go to Wrestle Kingdom,
Yeah.
so it makes sense from like a tourist destination idea to take the just make it a big weekend, and then
Yeah.
you have New Year's Dash the following day and all that. So it makes sense to keep them together in a bundled package. But if they want to space them out next year, I mean that there's nothing wrong with that either. So
Yeah. Some interesting results that came from this, as well as some terrific matches. As Matt mentioned, the pre-show opened up with the four-way with Watanabe from Stardom taking on Willow Nightingale representing AEW, uh, Persephone from CMLL, and Athena from Ring of Honor. I was really impressed by Persephone. This is the first time I'd ever seen her. I saw a lot of praise for her as well in this match, being the youngest in the match at 23. I thought she looked really good. I think there's going to be a bright future for her down the line. Um, but it was a great opener. Watanabe with the win, getting the win there. I was kind of surprised. I thought maybe Athena would win that just because just how dominant she is, but she got pinned, Matt. How about that?
well, I thought I thought there was two ways they could go with this. One, Athena would get the pin and then would go on to challenge for an AEW title, and that would be her introduction on the AEW programming in 2025. Or
Yeah.
whoever pinned her in said match would be the one they're going to
To,
choose to challenge for the Ring of Honor Women's Championship. So I believe
yeah.
Momo and Athena is going to be the match.
Yeah.
Maybe Supercard of Honor
Could
in
be.
April. I don't know if they wait that long to do it, but like it's possible.
Yeah.
And I think those two could absolutely tear the house down
Oh,
when
definitely.
they finally get in there 101. I believe Athena being pinned was purposeful,
Yeah.
and I do believe that that leads to Momo choosing to challenge her. So
Of course, it was via shady things, thanks to
yeah,
Thekla
interference
interfering with the giving her the bat, and boy, she teed off on Athena with that bat to end the match.
looks stiff.
Uh, it did. The Sons of Texas, Dustin Rhodes, Sammy Guevara, continuing their tremendous reign as Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. They defeated the House of Torture in a 10-minute match. And then we had said, show will be starting soon. Graphics for about half an hour before the 8-man Lucha Gauntlet match. I thought it was hilarious because how skinny that ramp is. And when El Desperado came out, who was the newly minted champion in New Japan, a guy that people are targeting now, and like 8 men fighting on that little skinny ramp, I'm like, oh god, please somebody don't fall off, because I mean
Yeah,
they were probably a good three. They're probably a good 3 feet up from the ground there, if not more.
a dangerously narrow ramp. Like definitely something that people shouldn't be fighting over.
Yeah, like the
You shouldn't be
Bucks
fighting.
side by side, the Bucks were taking up that whole ramp side by side. Now you're talking about 8 men fighting on that ramp. It
Yeah,
was amazing that nobody got hurt there.
very dangerous. Glad nobody got hurt.
Yeah.
Um, but if I were New Japan personally in the future, I would just make the ramp a little wider.
Yeah, why the
I
tables got to be narrow? Why is everything got to be narrow?
oh I hate those tables, dude. I cringe every time someone takes a Japanese table bump. Those things are
We
not meant to go through. Like American
no,
tables, very easily
they're
to
they're
break
they're
down the middle
gimmicked.
and stuff. But
Yeah, they're
those
gimmicked.
Japanese tables, man, Woof.
Yeah. Well, that's why Gabe Kidd set up 2 side by side. He's like, here, this looks better. uh 2 legends going at it in a grappling rules exhibition match, Tanahashi and Shibata. Is that because Shibata's still not cleared by New Japan? I
Yeah,
remember they
from
announced
from my understanding, New Japan does not want him working
wrestling.
like a full match in their reign.
Yeah.
But honestly, I'd rather had him do nothing at all than do this.
Yeah.
This
It
seemed
was
this seemed like a very big. The only way this works for me is if they turn around and actually have a full blown match at Forbidden Door this year.
yeah. I hope so.
And if they give us the full match, this was the teaser or something, and then later this year we get the full blown match between those two at Forbidden Door. Then I would be okay with what we got. But honestly, I was really excited to see Shibata back in the Tokyo Dome, and by the
Yeah.
time that 5 minutes was over, I'm like,
Yeah.
that was something.
I
Not
think it
quite
was
sure what
just
it was, and I feel like 3 out of 5 minutes was just them chopping each other. Like they
it
weren't
was.
doing
Yeah.
anything. It was
No.
just it that disappointed me.
I think it was
I felt very deflated after that thing was done.
I think it was just more of a celebration to give Shibata a Tokyo moment where they aren't going to clear him to wrestle, but hey, let's give him a moment. And him and Tanahashi, got to take a bow and everything at the end. So I hope you're right. I know Tanahashi is a lot, I mean, we all, Father Time is undefeated, and he is definitely up against Tanahashi. It moves a little rough in the ring at times nowadays. So, but it was cool to kind of
It is his last year.
it's got to be. It's got to be.
So well, he's already announced like Tokyo
Oh, okay.
Wrestle Kingdom last year.
Ne-
Next year is
next
his
year's his last.
final
Okay.
match. So he's going side by side with John Cena.
Pretty
They're
much.
both having their final year of their career at the same time, which is kind of wild because a lot of people over the years have compared Tanahashi to John Cena, where Okada compared to Roman Reigns. Like
Yeah.
people use the NJW, NJPW, WWE equivalents. That's the comparison a lot of people had made. So it's
Makes
quite
sense.
interesting that Tanahashi and Cena are both ending their career the exact same way,
So you said
running through
Tanahashi's in it
2025.
this year was his last year at Wrestle
Well,
Kingdom, or next
no,
year,
he will do Wrestle Kingdom next year, January
and
4th.
then then right off
So
into the
just
sunset.
4 days after 4 days into 2026.
Who do
But
you who do
you know,
you
I
who do
mean,
you pit him up against in his final one? Do you pit him up against Okada, or do you have him walk out or retire as the champion?
if you can get Okada to agree to do it, Okada to me is the match. Or you put him up against one of the younger people over there that they want to
Put over.
position as one of their main players for for years to come. I mean, I guess it all depends on how he's feeling health wise come next January 4th,
Yes. Yeah.
but we'll see how it goes.
Um. Tell you what, man. The early days of her AEW reign were to me kind of not as exciting, but man, Mercedes Moné has hit a gear, and all of a
Me
sudden,
and you are definitely going to continue to disagree on this because I really feel like the only bad match he's had in AEW was the one with Britt. And I
yeah,
know
I
the
don't know.
finish of the rematch with Sheeta was a little bit wonky, but the match itself before the finish was amazing. So like beyond that, I don't feel like Mercedes has missed in ring in AEW. I think her character needs a lot of work, and I think the person who's scripted her promos for her, Pepperman, who came over from WWE, I think they need to I think they need to cut Mercedes loose with the microphone at AEW and just let her
Yeah,
talk and not script her.
I
Because
just
I
was.
think
I also,
that hurts her more than anything in AEW right now is her character work.
yeah, and I just wasn't. I wasn't impressed with the Valkyrie match. I thought Valkyrie outshined her by a far. But I mean, to me now, in my opinion at least, it's been just
I thought
banger.
Mercedes made Valkyrie look like $1 million.
I think it's just banger after banger now, and Mercedes adds more gold. She is now the Rev Pro British Women's Champion. So she now has 3 belts. So we got money 3 belts there for you. A hell of a match, though, wasn't it, Matt?
4 belts technically, because
What am I
those
missing?
were those were
Strong.
those were 2 titles from 2 titles that Mina had. They were
Oh,
unified
unified.
championships. So Mercedes walked out of that match with 4 titles.
Steven Chambers in the chat saying who's going to derail Mercedes. I keep thinking it's Camille, but they haven't pulled any triggers there.
I'm telling you right after the match Mina had at Wrestle Dynasty, if a company, and I'm talking Stardom, AEW, New Japan, whatever, if a company doesn't strap that woman up in 2025 and put a major championship on her, there is a problem
Yeah.
right now, because she is ready, primed, and set to go.
Is
To be one of the
she
biggest stars in women's wrestling across the world right now.
is she
Trust
free?
that woman to take a title and run with it. No, she's still under a Stardom deal.
Okay.
But with the relationship with all the companies, there's no reason that she shouldn't get a championship run at some point.
Okay, yeah, I fully agree. And I don't know, I think I'm almost gonna say the second she becomes available, Tony Khan's gonna snatch her up, and there's already that built-in relationship.
I do believe her future is with AEW.
I think so too. Uh, David Finlay, after losing his gold, took on Brody King. Basically, I think it was a match to get David Finlay a win back after losing his global championship.
That's how I felt it was too. I didn't really
Yeah.
care about this.
Uh,
I love Brody Kane. I didn't like seeing him lose this match.
yeah.
So
They did beat the dog shit out of each other. Uh, Shota Amino and Claudio Castagnoli. I thought a damn good match. I think the seeds are definitely being planted that Amino's going to be feuding with the Death
Mox.
Riders, and yeah, I think Amino's going to defeat Mox at some point, maybe Forbidden Door. Obviously, for those that are very familiar,
Forbidden Door
Amino.
makes the most sense.
Yeah, and for those that don't know, Omino was Mox's young boy when Mox was in New Japan. So, and now he is obviously, a star on his own. He was in the main event of Wrestle Kingdom this year. So, that was a damn good match. And next up, this one definitely I don't think was anybody expecting gold to change hands. Konosuke Takeshita taking on Tomohiro Ishii for the international title and the never openweight championship. Takeshita taking his belts and keeping them. Longer match than I thought that should have been, but
it was actually really good.
it was good though. Yeah,
I really enjoyed Takeshita and Ishii. They beat. Speaking of beating the dog shit out of each other, those two beat the dog shit out of
anybody that gets in the ring with Ishii, that's going to be getting the dog shit beat out of each other.
Now it was very good, and I would go as far as to say very surprising announcement that New Japan announced following Wrestle Dynasty that Takeshita signed a 1-year deal with New Japan, so he's got dual contracts with AEW and New Japan at the same time. That's kind of wild.
I saw a lot of commentary on that. It was kind of an AEW kind of a making good after taking about 3 of their biggest stars of the past decade, in Okada, Omega, and Switchblade.
Here's the thing: New Japan couldn't afford to keep them.
True.
So the alternative would have been they would all have gone to WWE, and then New Japan would have never got to use them again.
True.
So,
I know.
it's better that they went to AEW than the alternative, because at least that there's still the possibility that they could work together in the future.
Yeah, and and you said it yourself. The interest in New Japan is down a little bit. I mean, the Bullet Club is at an all-time low in terms of
I don't like the War Dogs
impact
faction whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Bullet Club needs something or to be.
I mean,
taken out,
clearly people in Japan still care. The people in Japan still love that faction. But for me, and for a lot of people over here in the States, I feel like the faction's run its course, and I'm not even there for it anymore.
Yeah. I mean, there was a time when the NWO ran its course, but yet Eric still went with it. and he had like 50 people in it at that point.
Eric continued to go with a lot of things that were no longer over, and there's a reason that WCW isn't around today.
Oh, is he still signed to DDT? I thought he was when he. I thought he was done with.
I don't think that's accurate.
Yeah, I thought he was
I
done with
don't think he
DDT
has.
when he signed with AEW.
Yeah, I don't think he has a contract with DDT.
Maybe the surprise of the night. Maybe I don't know. Three-way. The IWGP Tag Team Championships vacant, and we had the Young Bucks taking on the United Empire and Los Ingobernables de Japan. Two guys that fought each other the night before, Naito and Hiromu Takahashi. And what the hell was Hiromu wearing to the ring? That guy's eccentric, but holy crap!
I don't know. I don't know.
It was like a walking arcade game or something. It was like this gigantic. I can't even describe it. It was like a suit. That's about all I could say about it. It was a suit, and it was very big. This was a damn good triple threat match, and the Young Bucks becoming two-time. There they are. Now do the up the other way. There you go. You got to do the pose. Two-time IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. Surprised that the Bucks taking the New Japan titles home with them.
I loved it. I wasn't expecting it, but I loved it, and I'm really happy to see them get the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team titles again. I feel like there's a lot of possibilities here, and I can't wait to see what they do.
Plus, you can defend them on AEW. So, the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship on the line. Suji, after defeating David Finlay the night before, took on Jungle Jack. Wow, boy, I hit the time machine and said Jungle Jack Perry. How about that? The Scapegoat. A hell of an entrance for Jack Perry with the Scapegoat mask and weapon he had handy there, but it did him no good. He could not bring more gold home for the Elite as Suji retains. I gotta say that probably the match of the night had to been the second to last match. 18 months away from the ring, the return of Kenny Omega. Him and Gabe Kidd, man, that was a fight. That was a war. Once blood was shed, it was on. This match was just insane. For Kenny Omega to go full bore for half an hour after being out for 18 months is something that is to behold, because, I mean, firsthand, diverticulitis is not a joke. And just for Kenny to be able to do what he did this past weekend after 18 months out was amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's the man is special. So happy that he's back. He's been missed. Yeah. His absence has definitely been felt in AEW and New Japan, and just in professional wrestling in general. Like the world, this industry isn't the same without Kenny Omega in it. So I'm very happy that he's back. I'm excited for him to be on Dynamite this Wednesday, and I'm excited to see what the plan is for him this year, because honestly, if he's not AEW World Champion at some point in 2025, I think TK fucked up.
I am very interested to see who his first feud's going to be. It'd be a lot of fun. There's lots of obviously you got the Elite.
Well, they're clearly teasing Omega and Okada for All In.
Yeah.
So they're gonna drag that out.
I mean, you gotta go that direction because of what they did to Kenny on his last televised appearance before his return last week.
But I mean, all the people that took it, but of all the people who took him out, there's only one still on television right now. Jack disappeared after dropping the TNT title, and the Bucks left after dropping the tag title. So until those three come back, I mean, Omega doesn't have anything to do with any of them.
Yeah, and All In is so far away. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see where they go on Wednesday. That's kind of the beauty of it to see there. The main event for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, Zack Sabre Jr. defending against Ricochet. Pretty cool for Ricochet to get the main event here. And obviously, I think he's been doing tremendous as a heel. He definitely is doing the right things to make people hate him. And this is a damn good match, but we all knew that it was going to be a retain for Sabre, right?
Yeah, I was actually expecting Swerve to show up
Come
here and
out.
cost Ricochet the match, especially since
Yeah.
he wasn't on Collision Saturday night.
Yeah.
So I was surprised they didn't try to, blend that storyline into the main event and lead that into Dynamite. But this is probably one of Ricochet's better matches that I've seen from him since joining
Post
AEW. So
WWE. Yeah.
yeah, very much enjoyed it. Good main event. I still think Omega should have closed. But I get it's a New Japan show, so you want a main event with a New Japan guy going over. So
Yeah.
I get it. Plus he's the world champion, so it's whatever. MK,
Omega.
I would love for them to just do this honestly, because they could, if they want to be super ballsy, they could run back the barbed wire death match
Ooh.
and hope to God that the explosives work this time around. But
Dive, Eddie, cover him, Eddie.
but yeah, dude, I wouldn't be opposed to this. To me, like I've said it on here several times before. I think this Moxley title reign is a failure right now. And the sooner they take the title off of him and move the Death Riders onto something else, I think the better off everybody will be.
And then wow. Yeah, this was just this dropped earlier today on Fightful. I know Steven mentioned it. Where's it at? MK mentioned it. Sorry, goes. Can someone ask Chris Charlton who the money mark is now? TK don't mess around, although I think it was Rocky Romero who gave him the suspension. Yes, it was dropped by Dave Meltzer reported that Chris Charlton was taking an indefinite hiatus after his comments calling Tony Khan a money mark and criticizing AEW signing Okada, Will Ospreay, and Switchblade Jay White. Fightful Select learned it was not a hiatus; it was a suspension for 2 months, and so there you go. New Japan's claim is that AEW and Tony Khan did not have input on the suspension, and as MK thinks it might have been Rocky Romero's call there.
His commentary was very annoying.
Yeah,
Like there's one thing to play up the heel commentary role, and there's another thing to like taking these smart mark comments and inserting into your show when you're a joint promoted show with another company. Like the comments was just, they were very weird. Didn't love the commentary on Wrestle Dynasty. Like I wasn't a big fan of the team that did the show, but
I kind of tuned it out for the most part when I was watching it.
well, it was better to listen. It was better to have commentary than the Japanese track,
Yeah,
because then I wouldn't have anything. But yeah, I didn't love the commentary on Wrestle Dynasty personally. I know some people did, but I didn't. But it didn't really take away from the show for me either. So
no, not really. And TNA has re-signed some people here. Masha Slamovich, Ash by Elegance, and John Schuyler have all re-signed with Impact as well. We are going to cut out early, so we got about 10 minutes to go. So we got enough time to talk about what's happening tonight. What's happening tonight is, of course, the big news of
Raw debuts on Pluto.
Yeah, Raw debuts on Tout. That's where Raw's gonna go, is Tout. Look at that guy. Look at John Cena. He's like, I'm happy to be done taking bumps after WrestleMania.
He's not. He's wrestling all year. He ain't done after Mania.
Oh, I thought he was done after Mania.
No, dude. He's there. He's here all of 2025. That's why I was comparing the same. That's why I was comparing it to Tanahashi.
The way that they were talking about it early on, it made it seem like it was going to be.
No, he made it a point to say it's his last WrestleMania.
Okay.
But it's not his last match. He's going till the end of the year. So maybe Survivor Series might end up being his last match.
A whole lot of direction seems that John Cena's Mania opponent might be Cody Rhodes. Do you feel that's
Let's
the
wait and see
way?
what The Rock does tonight before we go jump into conclusions on the Cena Cody match.
I almost kind of would like to see him take on Braun Breaker, but that might
I,
be Braun Breaker Sheamus at Mania, and Sheamus finally gets his IC belt back.
well, 6 months ago, I would have told you it was Cena and Gunther.
Yeah,
Cena wins the Rumble, challenges Gunther, wins title 17. Um, but I'm not sure now. Like I think we're gonna learn a lot more about what The Rock is or isn't doing at WrestleMania 41 tonight on Raw. And
yeah.
he's supposed to kick off the show after Triple H's little hoopla rah speech. So I
Maybe
think we're gonna
maybe
and
Cody
apparently
bloodies him.
the tribal combat match is right after the Rock's promo. So maybe
Yeah,
he sticks around at ringside for it or something. Like I don't
to
know.
present the Ulafala.
Or no,
So
maybe they're gonna go Rock Roman instead of Rock Cody. I don't know.
yeah,
But if Rock gets involved with Mania, it shuffles the entire card about. Because
exactly.
we all
Because
heard a couple weeks ago that the plan was Roman and Punk. So if Rock comes in and takes that spot, then all the dominoes have to shift and change about. So
I think Punk's winning the Rumble this year. So
it-
it's either the Rumble or Elimination Chamber, whatever puts him in a world title match. I think Punk's gonna.
and he's gonna face who?
I think he's gonna be a main event of WrestleMania. Is what he's gonna be. I don't know who
I don't
though.
I
It could
Punk
be.
versus
That's the thing is it's everything's so jumbled up with this transfer portal and
Punk versus Gunther at WrestleMania does not interest me at all. So
Punk and
if they're
Cody
gonna
does
do it,
though.
yeah, but they might do Cody and Rock, which then
Yeah,
opens up Cena.
but
It's
then
just like the moving pieces involving The Rock
I know.
over the next few months are going to be so interesting to follow because he's literally 2 years in a row turning WWE on its head on the road to WrestleMania. So
Yeah, and Royal Rumble in Saudi next year. Why? Come on. I don't think anybody loved that except the Saudis and WWE because they're getting paid.
yeah, it's terror. I hate it,
That's dumb.
but I can't imagine that CM Punk's going to sit out the Royal Rumble next year just because it's in Saudi Arabia. So it's really going to test his morals and beliefs and everything that he claims that he's all about. Like now that
Yeah.
arguably the second biggest WWE pay per view of the year is in Saudi Arabia in 2026, I will admittedly be very surprised if CM Punk does not make that trip.
The Rock. So yes, The Rock with a promo, Tribal Combat, Roman and Solo, John Cena with a promo, the world title for Liv Morgan against Rhea Ripley. Do you see a title change there?
Yes,
Jey
100%.
Uso versus Drew McIntyre. Hulk Hogan interview is now his beer is a sponsor, I guess. And of course,
Fuck him and fuck his shitty ass beer.
CM Punk, Seth Rollins. That's going to be a banger. There's a cold open that I've not watched yet, but it's been out, so some of you might have already seen it yet. I hear it's very cool. I will wait and watch it in 10 minutes. But it'd be interesting to see what that'll be. Be interesting to see if WWE has that canvas full of sponsors. Though, if it means less commercials, I'm all for it, Matt.
Well, the last I saw, I haven't looked at social media since about 50 minutes ago, but last I saw, the ring was covered with a gigantic like tarp around the ring, so like even people in the venue right now can't see it.
Taking photos can't, yeah.
Yeah, so
I'll skip all the
I'm
spoilers.
definitely expecting the heavy mat of advertisements tonight.
I'll skip all the spoilers, though. There's nothing really major being
There's really
spoiled.
nothing, but yeah, there really isn't.
No, but Cody Rhodes, Undertaker, Michelle McCool, and Maurice are all backstage. Of course, this is a damn cool arena, the Intuit Dome in LA. All the seats have LED lights that sync with the programming, so it's going to be very cool to see a wrestling product in that arena. That's going to be
This is like a brand new venue too, right?
very, yeah. It's
Yeah.
the new Clippers home.
Okay.
There are no surprises listed for the show besides Hogan, but there are going to be surprises.
Yeah,
They're
there's gonna
just
be a
not.
ton of surprises. WWE is very good with when WWE wants to keep things a surprise, they're very good at keeping it a surprise. More often than not, when the stuff gets out there, it's because
Yeah,
WWE wants it to get out there.
exactly.
They know what they're doing.
Fightful wanted to correct incorrect reports about Penta not debuting tonight. It's just they don't have the information confirming he's debuting. That doesn't mean he's not going to debut, but I think he's debuting.
I also believe we'll see Penta tonight.
Yeah. New set is being used as well as a lot of pyro. Well, there's going to be a lot of guys that use a lot of pyro.
It looked like your run of the mill Raw set, like slightly upgraded. But like if you've seen the Raw set in the last several months, it looks very similar to that.
I don't know, man. I think it's going to be a wild night. I'm excited for it, man.
I'm hoping so. I'm hoping we watch this show tonight. I'm hoping it doesn't feel like it's 3.5 hours long, and I'm hoping we have we're excited to tune in next week because that's the big thing that WWE needs to make sure that they do tonight for new and old fans alike. They need to make sure that they.
For those that listen audibly, I guess we don't have an audio podcast anymore, but MK in the chat, 30 minutes of Cena doing "You Can't See Me" while Penta responds with "Cero miedo." Well, it's gonna be 30 minutes of The Rock, I bet. That's
Yeah,
probably part
I'll
of
be
that.
shocked if Rock's promo isn't 30 minutes. I'll be very surprised.
It sounds like Hogan's part is just an interview, but I think he's gonna be
the shorter the better.
Yeah, and and a lot of people are like wondering if he's going to be a part of Saturday night's main event that's coming up later this month. But I don't know if Jesse Ventura would be there.
I hope if he shows up, Ventura punches him in his stupid face.
And put it on camera, please. Oh man. Well, you know what? We're gonna end it early here because we want to get you guys a chance to get into Netflix, especially if you have to reset your password or anything like that.
I'm a little worried about how this is going to be to get into this thing tonight and
Yeah,
luckily and all that stuff. So
NFL is smooth.
Yeah,
Tyson
NFL was
was
beautifully
not.
smooth.
Yeah,
But I mean, I
so
hopped into the NFL like 2 hours before because they were doing like the pre-shows and stuff. So
I was about 20 to 15 minutes before.
Yeah,
So,
like I knew the game started at 1. I tuned in at like 11:15, 11:30 that morning.
And I had to log in.
And I was on there early and I didn't have an issue. I left the stream run all day through both games. I didn't have any issues at all. So
yeah, I didn't either.
I'm hoping. I would imagine there's more people watching the NFL than there are WWE.
But it's worldwide. This is worldwide, so.
Yeah, but I mean, wasn't the NFL worldwide too?
Yeah, but I don't know. I wonder if the WWE's worldwide reach is a little bigger than the NFL's worldwide reach.
Well, yes, arguably it probably is, but
yeah. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, so let's give you some time to get logged in, enjoy the show. Once again, thanks for tuning into Lost in the Midcard. We'll be back at it next week, reacting to the Raw on Netflix debut, as well as anything else that drops, of course.
Yeah, we don't typically review Raw a week later, but this Raw might be on the magnitude that we might have to come back and talk about it next week. So we'll see what happens.
What do you want to talk about?
If it sucks, we won't be talking about it. So
that's true.
We're gonna see what we get tonight.
Yes, we will get there. So we're gonna let you go, get logged in, get ready, enjoy the show. Once again, thank you for tuning into Lost in the Midcard. We'll be back at you next week.